Hello, and welcome once again to Stone Soup.
The world according to sci-fi geeks.
And we're going to talk for a moment about a Game of Thrones. Now, you notice this is a book.
Pages. Wow.
Pages with writing and stuff on it. Wonderful Things books.
Mm-hmm.
It's by George R.R. Martin. There are 5 books, I think. And this is the short one. There are 2 more due out for a total of 7. This one has 705 pages.
And it's the short one.
And it's the short one. It's kind of like about the Harry Potters, I think. They just kept growing and growing and growing. The difference is the Harry Potters actually had a plot. And if you read...
And it could be fun.
And could be fun. And if you start with the first book of Harry Potter and you read all 7 books, you've read a story, a saga, a child's growing up and his life. This...
Emotional today.
Not so much. Yeah. This is the DVDs. Blu-rays, excuse me. These are the Blu-rays. We don't get HBO, so we couldn't watch it when it was on the air. But we thought, George R.R. Martin, Sean Bean, well, how could you go wrong?
Hey, we heard lots and lots of good reviews
things
for
about
it.
So we bought it, and we watched it last weekend. There are not quite 10 hours of it. There's 10 episodes that are 50 minutes,
Give or take,
roughly. But anyway, so the problem is that we just did a Buffy thing. We talked about how it gets dark towards the end. Well, this starts dark and stays dark and gets darker.
Now, don't get us wrong. Okay, first of all, we haven't actually read the book.
My
dad-
husband has. Her
Yes.
dad has.
So he could, tell us about it. He's read the first 3 books, and his general comment is this would make a goth cry. Which does not encourage us to read it.
He also said that he expects, when he's reading books like this is Act 1. The next book is Act 2. Even if there are 5 acts, each one, you can tell the progression of the storyline. They're not progressing. He says he's read 3 of these books, and he's still in Act 1. So he doesn't know where it's going. But it's like a soap opera. And if you've ever seen any soap operas,
politics.
yeah, if you've ever seen soap operas, you know what fun they cannot be. Also, soap operas can actually be fun. But, I mean, the performances are magnificent.
Yes.
It is lush and beautiful to see. Peter Dinklage deserves every single award that he has gotten and any ones that he missed. He is the best thing in it.
It's not a bad story. It's just too dark for our personal taste.
Yeah,
So
it's
please do
real
not send
dark.
us, emails yowling. How can you not like this? Why are you so stupid? This is a personal taste thing.
Yeah.
It's not that we don't like the story. It's just too dark for us.
There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of nudity. There's incest.
Now, don't get us wrong. We're not total prudes. We don't mind some nudity. But this, at least to my mind, had more the feel of, we can get away with this. Let's cram in a few more boobs.
Okay, I'm not even touching that. And that might have been in the book. Was that in the book? Yeah, that was in the book. So they just did it like it was in the book. They were true to the
Even
book.
so.
Actually, they closed some of the people.
Actually, well, my husband just said they actually put some clothes on some of the people that would have been
Oh,
naked.
my.
Apparently, we missed out on a naked Sean Bean.
What?
There's no justice in this world.
So let me get this straight. Spoiler alert. He dies toward the end of the first season, and we don't get to see him naked. The hell?
Yeah. And he's freaking Sean Bean.
But, yeah.
But anyway, one fun thing for me was noticing various people that I recognized from other places. The woman who played Sarah Connor in the Sarah Connor Chronicles TV series, she's in she's in here
As the queen.
as the queen. Guy playing one of her brothers, Peter Dinklage is also her brother, but this is a taller version. He was the star of New Amsterdam.
One of the bad guys had a part in Doctor Who.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is an all-British production thing. Half
Kinda
of them,
happens.
I said probably half of them have been in Doctor Who at one time or another. There's another character who is really wonderful, a little girl named Aria.
Yes.
She's 10 when it starts. She's 10 all the way through this section. And it's my understanding that this is that actress's first job, and she's terrific.
Yes.
Well, they're all terrific. Everybody is wonderful. Oh, yeah, I just remembered which one we saw from Doctor Who, the boy with the long white hair.
Yeah.
Who in Doctor Who had short dark hair. But be that as it may, like we say, the performances are great. It's just too dark.
Also,
There's no
there
time.
it also the slight issue that there are several parallel stories going on, and if you're not paying enough attention, you could get lost.
Yeah.
Especially since they don't do fade; they'll just suddenly jump.
Yeah,
One minute you're in this kingdom, it's like you jump 1,000 miles that away, and oh look, we're somewhere else entirely.
And it takes you a minute to catch up. It's like, oh wait, okay, I know where I am now. And one of the storylines, brother and sister who I think their family. See, I had trouble following this. I think their families used to rule what is known as the Seven Kingdoms,
Yes.
and they've been exiled,
Yes.
and they're doing various things in an effort to find their way back, and retake the throne, of course, because there's no point in coming back if you can't retake the throne.
Yeah.
But that storyline never, well, up to the end of this, has yet to dovetail with the main storyline.
Third, it still hasn't.
My husband says even at the end of the third book, it still hasn't.
See,
Of course, the
things
thing
need to
is,
move a
by the
little
end of
quicker.
this book, I don't think, the sister, I don't think she wants to anymore. She's
Not
fine
really.
where she is. Although she has reasons to want them to go away and leave her alone because, well, never mind. That's a spoiler. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. One other small problem we have with this series is that although there are some likable characters, the vast majority of the characters in this series are, well, to put it simply, pardon my language, sadistic, self-serving, murderous assholes.
Yeah.
You're being kind.
Sean Bean is a good guy, noble and kind and wonderful, and so is his wife.
Yes.
His children are children. Well, his oldest is maybe 15 or 16, and he's a good man.
Peter
Oh,
Dinklage-
and the girl Arya, that's one of his children.
yes.
They are all good. Peter Dinklage's character is a good man.
Tyrone, I think it is? Tyrion.
Tyrion
Yes.
is a good man. Pretty much everybody else
It's a
is a
slime
waste
bucket.
of flesh. What did you say?
Slime bucket.
Yeah, total slime buckets.
And the thing is,
And I don't see any reason why so much of them have to be.
and
Although
from,
the
several
mother,
people die in the first.
the mother of dragons, what was her name? The
Yeah.
Khaleesi. That's a title, not a name. But anyway, she seems to be a fairly decent human being.
For the most part, for the
for the most
moment.
part. Well, she was fine until somebody tried to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, oh, and this, I don't know if you can see this, but this throne that Sean Bean's sitting on, which by the way he never sits on it because it's not his throne. I have sat in that throne.
it was at Worldcon.
It was at WorldCon, and my son just learning that today says it was. Oh yeah, I didn't know you could sit on it. He says, was it comfortable? It was plastic, so no, not so much. But it was as comfortable as a plastic throne could be,
Yeah. But anyway,
and a lot lighter than it would have been if it had been made of stone and swords.
Yes.
It's really cool looking, even in
Yes.
person, even made out of plastic. And I would put that sucker in my living room in a heartbeat. So,
But
what are you doing, Pupper? Huh? Daddy says you're
one
being.
kind of cool thing is that most of the Stark children have dire wolves.
Yes, of course, a couple of them have died by the end of the first section.
And that's one of the other issues here. Apparently, any character that's actually remotely likable is pretty much dead by the third book. Spoiler alert, but still. Apparently Mr. Martin is worse than Joss Whedon when it comes to killing characters. At least Whedon goes for an actual emotional impact. Martin just says, bye-bye, and they're gone.
Martin's just, okay, I'm done with him. Let's write him off. This is my little boy.
Yes.
See how tiny and short he is. Yes, he's standing on the floor, by the way. Yes, you are.
About
You
the
are.
size of a dire wolf.
Yep.
Anywho,
Anyway, yeah, and one
They
scene,
say-
I'm going to give you a spoiler. One scene that really upset me. They're having a jousting tournament. And character A knocks character B off his horse. Character B is so furious at being knocked off his horse that he picks up a sword and slices his horse's head off. The horse didn't do anything. Wasn't his fault.
Nope.
But anyway,
it's just like, "Yeh,"
this is my little boy.
just disturbing.
Yes.
Like I said,
Isn't he
it's-
tiny?
and if you love Game of Thrones, well, good for you. Again,
Yeah.
this is all a personal taste.
Yeah. I love the
It's-
cast. Like I say, looks wonderful. It's just too dark for me. We kind of had to force ourselves to get through all 10 episodes.
Yep.
And yet there was this, it stays with you. You can't
Oh, yeah.
shake it. You know,
And there is a certain desire to know what happens to all the characters at the end, but that's why the good Lord invented Wikipedia and summaries.
yes, and thank God for that. Because you know what? It's like the Cliff Notes. Cliff Notes. How do I explain that to you? Cliff Notes is the Wikipedia of paper. But anyway,
I have seen them, you know.
yeah. Anyway, it's like she says, if you it does stay with you. You do want to know what happened, but
Yeah.
so
It just wasn't to our personal
no
taste.
taste. But go ahead and check it out. The new season, number 2, which will be the second book, is due to start, I think, later this month on HBO. Like I said, we don't get HBO, so
You don't know for sure.
yeah, we don't know for positive.
But I do
you
know it's
keep
coming
looking
out
for it.
fairly soon because I've been seeing people saying, it's coming, it's coming.
And that's why the good Lord invented Google.
Yes.
So you just type in Game of Thrones Season 2, and it'll tell you when to expect it.
Yes.
And even when to be able to get the Blu-rays.
So,
That is a beautiful set. Oh, by the way, yes, even the box is beautiful. The whole thing is just gorgeous. So
do what you can.
do what you can. I bet the next few cons we go to, there will be lots of Game of Thrones costumes. Oh, yeah, the other thing is, I was under the impression that it was fantasy sword and sorcery.
Uh-huh.
Well, except for one tiny little moment. This was just swords, no sorcery, no fantasy.
Last 10 seconds.
Yeah, about the last 10 seconds of the
Entire season.
entire season, there's a little bit of magic and fantasy because there are dragons. But the rest of it could have just been a historical mishmash story. You know,
Your
set-
fantasy only in that this wasn't real history.
yeah, which isn't quite the same thing.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well,
So-
that's a Game of Thrones.
that's a Game of Thrones.
Well, and our opinion of it.
Yeah.
You know, take it for what you will.
If you like lots and lots and lots of naked ladies and naked boobs and the occasional naked male type tush and even the occasional weenie penis, okay, there's at least 2 of them. I missed one completely, and that's okay. But
Last
if
chicken
you-
in the shop look.
yeah, you know it. Basically, if you don't mind nudity or you think it enhances everything, go for it. But check it out yourself. If you can, Netflix, rent it. Find out if you want to own it.
Yes.
I mean, we rented Firefly. We'd never seen it except one episode. We sat down, watched about 3 episodes, and it was like they weren't getting it back. We have the thing we rented because I wouldn't let my husband take it back.
Well, he took it back long enough to buy it.
Yeah.
We did not steal it or anything.
Yeah, I mean, he took it back and said, I'm buying it, and gave him the money and took it back. So, anyway, like I said, rent it, Netflix, and find out if you want to have it, if you haven't seen it. And if you have, you already know what you think of it. So don't change your mind because of what we think of it.
Unless you really do think we had some good arguments. I mean,
Yeah, well, anyway. And like we say, fantastic performances. So,
Yep.
that's it. Check it out.
bye-bye.